rushed on to his next call. I had very little time to gather information and make a decision. I punched out the number of David Barrett, a salesman at Harrison Brothers. I repeated what I had heard from Cash and asked David what he thought of the deal. I don't like it. It sounds good value, but remember how badly the World Bank issue that was launched 2 weeks ago did. No one's buying Eurobonds at the moment. I don't think any of my clients in the UK will touch it. David's clear, unhurried tones carried the weight of experience and a sound, analytical mind. He had built up a loyal following of customers by being right most of the time. That's very useful, thanks, I said and hung up. Another light flashed. It was Claire Duhamel, a persuasive French woman who sold bonds for Banque de Leçons et Genève, known as BLG. Hello, Paul. How is it with you? Are you ready to buy some bonds from me today? Her low, throaty accent was carefully designed to demand the attention of even the hardest-hearted customer. That morning I had no time for Claire's line of flirtatious chat. Although she did her best to hide it, she had excellent judgment, and I needed her opinion quickly. What do you think of the new Sweden? Boof. A dog. A howling dog. I hate the market at this moment. So do my customers. So do my traders. In fact, if you want any, I am sure they will be offering bonds very cheaply. She meant that her traders disliked the issue so much that they would try to sell the bonds as soon as the issue was launched, in the hope that they might buy them back cheaper later. Bloomfield Vice claims that most of the deal has been placed in Tokyo already. Claire's reply was tinged with anger. I'll believe that when I see it. Careful, Paul. A lot of people have lost a lot of money believing Cash Callahan. For the next few minutes, the board in front of me flashed constantly as salesmen called in to discuss the deal. None of them liked it. I needed to think. I asked Karen, our assistant, to put off all the incoming calls. I liked the deal. It was true that the market was very quiet. It was also true that the World Bank issue of 2 weeks ago had fared poorly. However, there had been no new issues since then, and I had the feeling that investors did have cash waiting for the right bond issue. And this could be the right one. The yield was certainly attractive. Most intriguing was the Japanese angle. If Cash were right, and they really had already sold $300 million of a $500 million issue in Japan, then the deal would go very well. But should I trust Cash? Wasn't he just taking me for a sucker? A 28-year-old with only 6 months' experience in the bond market? What would Hamilton do if he were here? I looked around me. I supposed I should really discuss it with Jeff Richards. He was Hamilton's deputy and responsible for the strategic view the firm took on currencies and interest rates. But he liked to do things based on thorough economic analysis. Trading a new issue was not his cup of tea at all. I looked over to his desk. He was tapping figures from a booklet of statistics into his computer. Best to leave him out of it. Apart from Karen, the only other person who was in the office was Debbie Chater. Until recently, she had been involved in the administration of the funds managed by the firm. She had moved onto a trading desk only in the last 2 months and had even less experience than I had. But she was sharp, and I often discussed ideas with her. She sat at the desk next to me and had been watching what was going on with interest. I looked at her, vaguely searching for a decision. I don't know what the problem is, but suicide isn't the answer, she said. You look like you're about to jump out of a window. Her broad face split into a grin. I smiled back. I was just thinking, I said. I briefly explained what Cash had said about the new Sweden and the lack of enthusiasm from his competitors for the deal. Debbie listened closely. After a moment's thought, she said, Well, if Cash likes it, I wouldn't touch it with the proverbial 10-foot pole. She tossed me a copy.